The Martian has landed, and it has been better than any of us could have expected. And now, all of a sudden, we're in the midst of a playoff race. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and holy shit, the past week has been absolutely insane. Last time I left you guys off was the debut of Jasson Dominguez and Austin Wells. Well, as you guys already know, Jasson Dominguez had one of the best debuts you could have ever had, having a home run against a Hall of Famer on the second pitch he's seen and the first swing he takes. It's been very good having Jasson here. He has had a .333 average with 3 home runs. Man has now had a home run in 3 of his first 5 games. This man is unreal, showing off the leather in the field. And one of the biggest parts about his game that I like is, they brought it up on the broadcast. His swing is a very straightforward swing. What was the problem with Jake Bauers? Jake Bauers has a huge uppercut, and that uppercut makes it so that pitches that are up in the zone are almost impossible for him to get to. Well, Jasson Dominguez doesn't have that same issue because his swing is on the straight and narrow. It sort of looks like he's not being taught by the same guys some of these other guys in our minor league system are. And there's a chance that he took the route that Aaron Judge did, and he sought outside help, which at this point, knowing everything about the Yankees farm system, was probably the best course of action if that is the case, because our farm system does not look good. We're not getting a great rep right now. Are the comparisons to Mickey Mantle and Mike Trout all of a sudden true? Obviously not. Those are really unrealistic expectations, but what a start to a career. He has shown the speed, he has shown ability to spit on breaking balls, and something that I didn't take into account when I was recording my last video. It almost looks like these pitchers are challenging him because of his reputation. I always thought that these major leaguers would not stoop to that level, right? I didn't think major leaguers would be so egotistical that they'd be like, this is a top prospect, I need to assert my dominance. Because it almost looks like everything he's getting is a fastball. I was telling you in my last video, fastballs are what minor leaguers are taught to hit. He is hitting these fastballs so well, it's going to change soon, right? He's going to get a heavy diet of breaking stuff. But it's kind of weird that it didn't start that way, almost like with Austin Wells, who out the gate has not been amazing, but he has answered a lot of questions, in my opinion. Austin Wells has been a guy who has been pegged as offensively ready, but has questions defensively. You hear the pitchers talk about Austin Wells to the media. They have nothing but glowing things to say about him. And I know he's their teammate, so you would think that they would be nice, but you would be surprised. A lot of people got on Gary's case for not being the best guy behind the plate. Austin Wells got glowing reviews from everyone. Michael King specifically gave a glowing review with an example of early on in the inning, he didn't pull his glove in far enough for a cutter that turned into a sac fly against Kyle Tucker. Later on in that game against Kyle Tucker, he pulled that glove in farther. They executed that pitch. He is willing to change, and he's willing to adjust to the major league level. Also, his throwing arm. His first ever base runner he had was Mauricio Dubon, who is not slow by any means, and he gunned him. It's not like Dubon didn't have a good jump or anything like that. He just gunned him. So he is answering more questions than Jasson, more because Jasson didn't have as many questions in certain areas. But Jasson, of course, has taken the spotlight because overall he's just been playing out of his mind. they have both had different approaches taken towards them, which maybe shows you where they are. And there's a chance that Jason may not get more breaking stuff because Aaron Judge is ahead of him. I love the way Aaron Boone is setting up this lineup. He has LeMahieu 1, Judge 2, Dominguez 3, which a lot of pressure for a 20-year-old, and Gleyber Torres 4. You got 2, 3, 4 of death. You are picking your poison there. And that to me is showing how much they think of Jason Dominguez, but also it shows me how much they want him to succeed. Because being in the middle of Gleyber Torres and Aaron Judge, our best hitter and our most consistent hitter of this year, that's probably the best spot to be in. Because no one wants to pitch to Judge, right? Missed 50 games, still 5th in the AL in home runs. So they're going to put him on base. Now they don't want to have multiple people on base for Gleyber Torres because, as we saw in game 1, he could just clear the bases really quickly. So he's kind of in that position that like Roger Maris was in with Mickey Mantle. He had Mickey Mantle in front of him. No one wanted to pitch to Mickey Mantle. So they would throw Roger Maris behind him as the protection of, hey, they're going to walk Mantle, so you're going to get your opportunities to hit. They're going to pitch in the zone to you because they don't want to put you on base. And that's where 61 came into play. Aaron Judge is sort of doing that for Jason Dominguez. And it could work for a long time. This could be truly a lineup to fear in Major League Baseball, all based on one change. And it was to bring up Jason Dominguez. And look, I love Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader was a great player. I wanted his jersey. I wanted him back as like a bench bat to have. I hope he succeeds out in Cincinnati. I hope everything works out there. I hope Cincinnati makes a deep playoff run because Harrison Bader is there. Watching how this lineup is producing with Jason Dominguez being the everyday guy, this was definitely the right thing to do. And Jason Dominguez deserved all the hype he got. Austin Wells too. I really liked Austin Wells' approach in his first at-bat. Again, both of their first at-bats, they were in a difficult situation. Probably the worst situation to be in your debut. You are going up against a Hall of Famer, one of the better pitchers we've ever seen in Justin Verlander. Yes, he's old, but he is still doing work to this day. Usually does very well against us. And what does Austin Wells do? He gets down 0-2. Okay, you would expect that. It's his first at bat. But then he spits on a slider. He spits on another slider. He spits on another good breaking pitch. Works it from 0-2 to 3-2. Then finally waits Verlander out until Verlander makes a mistake. Verlander makes the mistake and he just laces it to right field. That's a professional hitter right there. That's where all the hype comes in terms of his bat. Because that is some shit that most of the Yankees do not do. Most of the Yankees do not work the count. Most of the Yankees don't have a two-strike approach to where, okay, 2 strikes, we're just going to shorten up. Even though it's a mistake, I'm not going to try and put it into the train tracks in Houston. I'm going to just lace it into right field. He's doing that at age 22. These younger guys are almost more mature than some of the players we've had. If you think about it, more mature than like a Jake Bowers, more mature than a Kyle Higashioka, more mature than a lot of hitters on our roster. Obviously more mature than Oswaldo Cabrera, who has become the forgotten younger guy. But that's neither here nor there. This stretch of games has been some of the most fun baseball that we've had in a long time. Probably since the first half of last year. when we were on pace to be the best team in baseball history by far. We are only 6.5 out of a playoff spot because Toronto just lost to Oakland. We have the Texas Rangers, who are on a 7-game losing streak, playing like absolute dog shit, or coming off of a 7-game losing streak, but they are on a terrible stretch right now. You have teams like Boston, who have fallen off a cliff. These teams are failing, and we're rising at the right time, at the perfect time. We have 23 games left. We're 6.5 out. Who would have thought at the end of August, I would have been saying we're only 6.5 out. We're only 1.5 out of being the 4th place team in the AL East. We also have a bunch of games against Toronto and Boston, who are teams ahead of us. So these next 20 games could get us a playoff spot. It's one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen. But the fact that we have a chance to go get a playoff spot after losing 9 in a row and going 6 games under 500 is absolutely astounding. And a lot of it has to do with the resilience of this team. Look, we have all sort of given up on playoff hopes, right? And look, it's not probable that we actually get there. We still got a lot of work to do. Now that we're above 500, now the job is starting. The job ain't finished, the job starts now. It's basically what happened in 2016 when we bring up Gary Sanchez and Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge, and Gary Sanchez hits the ground running. All this time, we were just building up. We were building back up. And we came up a little short in 2016. But we saw the blueprint. We saw what needed to be done. I think we're getting that same blueprint right now. 7 years later. And it's deja vu all over again. This is our 2016. And this is our time. Come 2024, this team is gonna be a force to be reckoned. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.